Hello, and welcome to English Natively, the podcast where we help you embrace English like it's second nature. Today we're diving into a topic that can truly transform your language journey: the power of immersion. If you've ever dreamed of speaking English fluently without packing your bags for London or New York, this episode is for you. We're going to explore how to weave English into your everyday life, no matter where you are. So, grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's jump right in. Segment 1. What is immersion and why is it a game changer? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is immersion? It's not about moving to an English-speaking country or spending hours locked in a classroom. Immersion is about creating a world where English feels like a natural part of your day. Like a warm bath, you soak in until the language seeps into your mind. It's about surrounding yourself with English in ways that are meaningful and, frankly, fun. Why does immersion work so well? When you immerse yourself, you're not just memorizing vocabulary or wrestling with grammar rules. You're absorbing how native speakers actually use the language. Phrases like cheers instead of a plain thanks, or why we Brits lovingly call a cup of tea a cuppa. Your brain starts linking words to real-life moments, which makes them stick. Research even backs this up. Studies show that exposure to a language in context, like through conversations or media, helps your brain process it faster than rote learning. Plus, immersion builds confidence because you're living the language, not just studying it. So, how do we make this happen without leaving home? Let's find out. Segment 2. Practical ways to create your own English immersion bubble. Creating an immersive environment is easier than you might think, and you don't need a big budget or a plane ticket. Here are some practical, everyday ways to bring English into your life. First, tweak your surroundings. Switch your phone, laptop, or social media apps to English. Every time you check your messages or scroll through your feed, you'll see English in action. It's a small change, but it's like planting little language seeds that grow over time. Next, dive into English media. This is where the fun begins. Watch films or TV series you love. Whether it's a cosy British drama like Downton Abbey or a fast-paced action flick like James Bond. If you're feeling confident, try turning off the subtitles. If that's too tricky, keep them in English to follow along. One of my favourite recommendations is the Great British Bake Off. Not only do you get to hear quintessentially British phrases like soggy bottom, but you'll also pick up on cultural quirks like our obsession with a perfect Victoria sponge. Podcasts are another brilliant way to immerse yourself. Find one on a topic you're passionate about. Gardening, tech, true crime, you name it. Start with shorter episodes, maybe 15-20 minutes, so it's not overwhelming. I'd recommend something like Desert Island Discs for a mix of storytelling and natural conversation. And don't just listen passively. Try repeating a phrase or two to mimic the speaker's intonation. It's like a mini pronunciation workout. Another fun idea. Cook with English. Find a recipe online, say, for a classic shepherd's pie or a batch of scones, and follow it in English. You'll learn practical words like whisk, simmer, or dollop. That's a casual spoonful of cream, by the way. Plus, you get to eat the results. I once had a listener tell me they learned the word sizzle while cooking bacon from an English recipe video. It's these little moments that make immersion so powerful. Music is another gem. Listen to English songs and sing along. Don't worry if you're off key. Look up the lyrics and try to understand the story or emotions behind them. Songs by artists like Adele or Ed Sheeran are great for catching everyday phrases and slang. And if you're feeling creative, write a short journal entry in English about what the song means to you. Finally, connect with others. Join online communities where English speakers hang out. Think Discord groups, Reddit forums, or even Instagram pages about your hobbies. Even if you're just lurking at first, you're soaking in how people express themselves naturally. When you're ready, try apps like Tandem or HelloTalk to chat with a native speaker. The goal is to make English a seamless part of your routine, one small step at a time. Segment 3. Tools and resources to supercharge your immersion. Now, let's talk about some specific tools and resources to make immersion even easier. First up, apps. Duolingo and Memories are fantastic for quick vocabulary boosts, but they're even better when paired with real-world practice. For reading, try news websites like BBC News or The Guardian. They're written in clear, natural English, and you can pick articles on topics you care about, politics, fashion, or even recipes. If you're not ready for long articles, start with BBC Learning English, which has short, learner-friendly stories and videos. For listening practice, YouTube is a goldmine. Channels like our channel English Natively or BBC Learning English offer lessons with a British flair, perfect for picking up our accent and slang. If you're into audiobooks, Audible has a huge selection. Try something light like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for fun, conversational English. And if you want to take it up a notch, join a language exchange platform like italki, where you can book affordable lessons with native speakers or just swap chats with a language partner. One pro tip. Create a dedicated English time each day. Even 15 minutes of focused immersion, say watching a short YouTube clip or reading a blog post, can make a huge difference. Use a notebook or an app like Notion to jot down new words or phrases you discover. Over time, you'll build your own personal dictionary of real-world English. Segment 4. Overcoming challenges and staying motivated. Immersion sounds exciting, but let's be honest, it's not always a walk in the park. One of the biggest challenges is feeling overwhelmed. If you're watching a film and only catch half the words, or you're reading an article and keep reaching for the dictionary, it's easy to feel deflated. My advice? Start small and be kind to yourself. Try a 5-minute YouTube clip instead of a full film. Pause, rewind, and pick out just 1 or 2 new words to learn. It's about progress, not perfection. Time is another hurdle. If you're juggling work, family, or studies, carving out time for immersion can feel impossible. But here's the beauty of it. You don't need hours. Weave English into what you're already doing. Listen to a podcast while cooking dinner, read an English news headline during your morning coffee, or label objects in your house with sticky notes in English. One of our listeners, Ahmed, shared how he started listening to English audiobooks during his daily commute. 6 months later, he's catching jokes and idioms he never noticed before, and he says it feels like unlocking a new level in his brain. Another common worry is not understanding everything. That's okay. You don't need to catch every word to benefit from immersion. Focus on the main idea. What's the story about? What's the speaker trying to say? Over time, you'll notice you're picking up more without even trying. And if you hit a rough patch, remind yourself why you started. Maybe you want to chat with international friends, watch films without subtitles, or even order a proper full English breakfast with confidence. Keep that goal in sight. It's your fuel. Segment 5. Listener stories to inspire you. To wrap things up, let's share some inspiration from our English Natively community. First, we have Priya, who lives in a small town with no native English speakers around. She decided to create her own immersion bubble by following English recipe blogs. Every week, she'd cook a new dish, like a classic shepherd's pie, learning words like mince for ground meat and simmer for that gentle cooking bubble. She also joined an online book club discussing English novels. At first, she was nervous about speaking up, but now she's leading discussions and even tossing in phrases like "get stuck in" like a true Brit. Priya's story shows that immersion is about creativity and consistency, not geography. Then there's Carlos, another listener who wrote to us. Carlos works long hours, so he started small by switching his phone to English and listening to short podcasts during his lunch break. He picked The English We Speak from BBC Learning English, which breaks down everyday phrases like spill the beans or under the weather. After a few months, he noticed he was using these phrases in conversations with his language partner, and it felt like a light bulb moment. Carlos says, "It's like English is becoming part of who I am." These stories remind us that immersion is about finding what works for you and sticking with it. That's all for today's episode of English Natively. Immersion is about making English a joyful, natural part of your life. Whether it's through a film, a recipe, a song, or a chat with a new friend. Start small. Experiment with what you love. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're proof you're growing. I'd love to hear how you're bringing English into your world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep speaking.